Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Unconditional Self-Love with myself, Tilly Reid. I hope you are well. I'm feeling a little bit bunged up this week, actually just in the last few days, which is always annoying when you're just like, oh no, I hope I'm not getting a cold. It doesn't feel like a cold yet. It's just, it's just the beginnings of a bit of a snivel, and it's a proper cold grey day here in June. Yes, welcome to England. So I think the warm weather's coming back though. Yay, the warm weather's coming back. But what do I want to talk about this week? Well, it's Instagram. I mean, this could be about any social media site, but specifically I am talking about Instagram. To delete or not delete? That is the question. Yeah, I mean, I don't really remember social media sort of starting back in the day. I'm of a certain age where I think I'm actually so thankful that I grew up in the 90s when there was no social media. I mean, weren't we just blessed? Weren't we absolutely blessed to grow up in a time where, I mean, I'm not saying there wasn't problems and issues, but nothing was documented. No one could have access to us outside of the normal school and whatever other things you did. Nobody could comment on things that you posted. Nobody could. It was just all. It was great. I mean, I look back now and I'm like, oh, wow, we had it really good, and I'm quite thankful that a lot of the time when I went out, there's absolutely no photographic evidence of me, on a night out, probably enjoying a few drinks. And yeah, none of that, absolutely none of that. So it was a golden time. It was a lovely time. I mean, I am looking back with rose-tinted glasses, don't get me wrong. I didn't really enjoy school that much, but I can appreciate what we had, at that point. And I think it must be so hard for teenagers these days to deal with that. I mean, I can't even begin to imagine, because you've got all that stuff going on, all your hormones raging and oh my God, the dramas. Can you imagine? Oh, no. So for me, I don't really remember. I kind of vaguely remember Facebook becoming a thing. That was sort of the first one for me. And I remember it being this really cool thing. It was like, oh, wow, this is amazing. We can reconnect with, old friends and just, post things. It was quite exciting. And I'm not even sure when Instagram came out. I feel like it's just always been a part of our life. Or however long ago it was. I do remember. And I think I resisted it first. And then I finally was like, no, I'm going to get it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And obviously back then when it was first around, it was just pictures. Just had pictures on, and it was, people were posting gorgeous pictures. People still do post gorgeous pictures. But, it was a lovely space. And as time has gone on, obviously, it's not necessarily changed. I still think I find lovely videos on there, lovely images, pictures. It can be a great space, but it is kind of scary how quickly it can change to suit your needs. It's obviously made to keep you on there. Those, the sort of the never-ending scrolling, either through your feed or through your reels. That is a purpose-built system to keep you on there because it makes money when you're on there. We are the client. I think, famously, all the tech guys who created it famously didn't give this to their kids. They just refused. They were like, no, we know what this is like. And I mean, that is very telling when you don't actually give it to your kids when you've invented this seemingly amazing thing. So I think that, I think it has a lot to answer for. When you just have to go out now and you just see, I always think it's really sad when I look over and I see groups of usually younger people and they're all on the phones and nobody's talking. And I'm like, oh, just you've got that person. So it's basically saying that what is on your phone is far more important than that person sat in front of you. Like I would not, maybe I'm of a different generation, but I would not expect that with my friends. Occasionally, we've had our phones out and we've done things, but, it's always like a conversation or, oh, sorry, I have to do my phone out because I have to take a call or a text or whatever. We're more aware of it, but I definitely see a lot more of, these that just constantly on the phones. People nearly walk into you because they're on the phones in the street. Have you ever had that? God, the amount of times I've literally been walking down a path and I look up and I'm like, hello, get off your phone. Don't walk into me. Because they've literally got their face buried in the phone. I'm just like, seriously? So that's always fun. So these little devices that we've grown to, need, we use them for everything now. And I use mine for everything now. But for me, Instagram has been something that I deleted it last year for quite a while. And I recently came back on because I was like, I'm doing my podcast. I want to post about it. I want to post about other things. It's fine. And then I was amazed at how quickly I went from just using it quite sparingly to getting back into that doom scrolling, before you know it, half an hour's gone. Like, what have I done? Nothing. Oh, you've just been scrolling. And I am a person that's curated her feed to certain people. I've muted a lot of stories. I've changed it to try and help. But obviously it is made to keep you on there. It is very, very, very clever and it gives you more of what you want. We've all heard about the algorithm. And I think when I went back on, I think one of the scary things for me was just like, oh my God, how quickly it changed from one particular thing to another when I happened to hold, I might be scrolling and then hold for a little bit longer on one feed. And suddenly I was getting more of that. It was so quick. I could totally see how people get trapped into this negativity or, whatever your political views are, you start to see more of that, you get dragged into this sort of, this thing, these ideas, and that's what you see constantly. It's so clever, but I was shocked at how quickly, it's because it started with, women in their 40s with cats. I was like, great, loving this. Always love a cat video. Single women in their 40s, great. Yeah, love this. And I think because I started to do more acting recently, I found that. And then suddenly, literally so quickly, my feed was full of acting videos and people giving hints and tips. And I was like, whoa. And again, it's not necessarily, it wasn't bad stuff. It wasn't stuff that was triggering me in any way. It wasn't bad stuff, but it was just, it was very shocking to me. So I have deleted it again. So you probably, if you are following me on Instagram, yes, you probably have noticed that I have stopped. I may nip back on there again at some point, but for me, I just didn't like what it was doing to me, the time it was using in my life. And it's very clever. It keeps you coming back by, if you've got notifications switched on, turn them off, please. I don't even think I have many notifications on my phone. But, that's that little ping that just eyes go to your phone because you see it. It is so easy to engage on there as well. Super easy. A a little like, a little comment. So easy. And that goes into the reward center of your brain, and if you see something funny, it gives you a burst of dopamine. It's actually similar to like a fruit machine. It's actually similar to gambling. You're scrolling, you suddenly see something really funny and it makes you laugh and you're like, oh, yes, I'm going to carry on. That was great. It creates this routine, and our brains love routine. They really do. That's why we go to work the same way. Why when we get up, we might do the same routine in the same order. Our brains like it because it gives a chance for our brains to rest a little bit. Because it's like, oh, this is a familiar path, It's like, if you try to change anything too quickly, it never works because the neural pathways are so used to you doing it another way, you will just revert back to that old way because it feels comfortable, but not necessarily good for us. The endless scrolling, obviously I've talked about that. They've obviously created it, so you literally can just scroll and scroll and scroll. There is no ending. There's no ending to your feed because it then gives you people that you aren't even following. It is aesthetically pleasing. People do post some beautiful videos and gorgeous, you've got videos, you've got music, you've got people talking, depending on what you follow, it draws you in. It's real sort of visual stimulation for us. I think it can create FOMO. We all know what that means. Fear of missing out. It's a carefully curated version of people, but we're not conscious of that when we're looking at it. We're not like going, oh, come on, what's behind these scenes? I bet they're not doing that all the time. And, and we're just going, oh, wow, look at all these people on holiday and look at all these people eating amazing food or going to these events and doing all these cool things. And then you don't see all the probably 90% of their time when they're probably just doing normal stuff like you and I are. We don't get to see that because, who would show that? I've talked about the algorithm. It obviously gives more of what you want. And I say of what you want very loosely. It basically gives you more of what you sort of stop on. If you stop on a certain reel, you think, oh, this is fun, I'll watch more of this. It goes, you liked that. I'm going to give you more of that. It is very, very, very clever. But it isn't good for us. I believe it isn't as good for it. Unless you're one of those people that has got amazing willpower and can kind of just, pick it up and put it down, and just use it for a little bit of time. Even when I set the time limit on it, I know you can set like time limits on it, so it literally flags up and says, you've used it for enough today. I just used to click ignore and carry on. I was just like, I don't care. I want to carry on. It makes it that way because it wants you to stay on there. So what can we do about this? If you're somebody that's thinking about this, if you're just like, oh my God, that's really scary, I'm not sure I could completely delete it. Oh gosh, just give yourself a mini break. Like leave your phone at home when you go out. If you go out for a walk or in another room, so you're not constantly picking it up. Turn off your notifications. I don't have notifications, like I said, on many things. Curate your feed. Mute those stories, mute posts, unfollow. Follow people that are more maybe inspirational or something. Yeah, really think about that. And if you are feeling tempted, just delete it. I just delete the app from my phone. It's actually very hard to completely delete the app, like gone forever. It's there. It's in my app store. Like if I wanted to, it's very easy for me to just download it again and, open it. But I that is a bit more of an effort for me, so I don't do it. But if you're feeling like you want to do that, just trial it. Just trial it for a few days and then go back on, or a week, go back on and just to see what happens. If you're curious, because honestly, it changes my life. And I'm not just saying that lightly, because like I say, it's not like I'm necessarily watching triggering stuff, bad stuff, I'm not getting drawn in. Like I say, usually it's cat videos or single women in the 40s, it's giving me more of me, which is very validating. It can be very validating to see these videos and go, wow, look at all these people out there. It can feel like a connection, but it's not a connection. It's not a real connection in real life. And for me, I think one of the main ways it's changed is it just gives my brain more space for other ideas. Like, put really simply, like when I'm not spending that, I don't know how long it probably was, maybe an hour or so, maybe on Instagram, I'm going, well, okay, what else can I do? I'll pick up that book. I'll read that book. Or I'll do some drawing, or I'll do a workout, or I'll go for a walk. Honestly, I can't tell you how different. Like, I genuinely do more of those things, more of those creative, gorgeous, lovely things. I get less FOMO and comparison because I'm not seeing other people's curated lives. I'm experiencing my life as I'm living it, and I get to see people in real life and then go, hey, how are you? How's it going? And actually just have a one-to-one conversation with people. I love that. It's one of my favorite things to do. I love meeting up with my friends and just getting really deep conversations and just like chatting. It's the best. Less time wasted. Again, like I said, I do other things. I meet people in person, and we, hear their stories from them. I'm not getting to them and going, oh, and they're telling me a story and I'm going, oh yeah, I saw that on Facebook or Instagram. No, I have absolutely no idea. I'm like, what have you been up to? Amazing. That sounds great. And then you get to see these real life reactions to things as well. It's really great. And the same thing is vice versa to me, because nobody knows what I'm doing. I can meet up with people and say, hey, I've been doing this. And everyone's like, cool. It feels great. I also had this thing that when I'm on there, I always notice that when I want to take pictures of things or videos of things, it was always in the back of my mind, oh, this will be a good post, or this will be a good story. I'm going to put this on my stories. I don't know whether anyone else does this. And now I don't. I go, that's a beautiful, oh, I'm going to take a picture of that beautiful flower. Now I just take a picture of the beautiful flower because I want a photo of the beautiful flower. And I'm not going, oh, I'm going to post that later. Nope. That picture is for me. That's it. It's just for me. So whether you're thinking about it or not thinking about it, maybe you're just like, no, Tilly, I am not going to delete my Instagram. I love my Instagram. It gives me so much pleasure. I enjoy getting on there and looking at the reels. And honestly, some of the reels can be absolutely hilarious. I have taken great pleasure in looking at them. But I've also seen the other side. I've seen what my life is like without it, and I've discovered that I don't need it, and I get a better quality of life. I do other things that give me a better quality of life. So go on, give it a go. If you're thinking about it, just give it a go, because honestly, you might feel a little bit like tetchy to begin with and be like, oh, I'm just going to check my phone and check my phone, and then you realise that app isn't there. I did that. I definitely did that the first few days when I deleted it. I kept on opening my phone and looking and going, oh, yeah, it's not there. And then finding I was clicking on other random apps like, oh, have I got any emails, or what's the weather like today? Like, okay. Because it's just that it is, and you realise how addictive you are and how much you do pick up your phone. But that goes with time. But yeah, give it a go. So I hope you all enjoy the rest of your week, and I hope the weather is gorgeous where you are, or going to improve. Okay, bye. Hello, and welcome to my 3 joys of the week. This week, number 1, we have getting better. You know that feeling when you've been when you've been really ill, either had a cold or flu or whatever. I've had a really bad back recently. I've spoken about that. And this last few days, it started to clear. And oh my God, the joy that brings is you're just like, oh, yay, this is how I want to feel all the time. And you really appreciate feeling well, don't you? When you've been ill and you get better, you really appreciate feeling better. Number 2 is meditation. I love meditation. I kind of have dipped in and out of it. I'm trying to get back into it again because it does bring me so much joy, so much clarity. Just having that moment. And sometimes it's literally 5 minutes. Often it's 10, but 5 minutes, that is all it takes. Just close my eyes in the morning, just go inwards and just listen to those little, I used to get like amazing realizations in meditations, but, get little signals, little sort of, I don't know, little moments of like, hey, do this thing, this will be amazing. I'm like, oh, yeah, it will. And number 3 is, don't you just love an amazing smelling perfume? I mean, do you know when somebody like walks past you and you're just like, oh, they smell so good. And you just like, even like, when you spray it on yourself, I've got a very nice perfume that I bought from quite a posh shop, and I wasn't going to buy it because it was probably the most I've ever spent on something like that. I think it was about £200, and I was like, oh my God, £200. And I was like, no, I don't have any other perfume. I absolutely love this smell, and I'm going to buy it for myself. And it was such a treat, and I absolutely adore the smell. And yeah, I'm using it on days. I'm not even just using it on days where it's like, oh, this is a special occasion, I'm going out. No, I'm using it on like random Mondays, going to work. Why not? Because every day is special. So if you've got one of them perfumes, it's like, I only use that for special occasions. You are the special occasion. Every day is a special occasion. So get that on. Smell that gorgeous smell. And yeah, just do it. Okay, thanks. Bye.